The council chamber was vast and cold. Stars gleamed through the windows, but they seemed distant and unimportant compared to the tension in the room. Leaders of countless alien species sat around a circular table, their expressions a mixture of fear, curiosity, and impatience. They had waited for this moment for centuries, the chance to sign a galaxy-wide peace treaty. At the center of the chamber, the humans stood quietly. Their commander, Lieutenant Mara Kellen, scanned the room. She could feel the eyes of 1,000 different species on her, studying, judging. The humans had arrived late, and already whispers filled the air. Some speculated they would agree to the treaty immediately. Others, more cautious, feared humans might reject it outright. Finally, the Grand Chancellor, a tall being with silver scales and 3 eyes, spoke. "We welcome the humans. Will you join us in peace, as we have asked?" Mara's jaw tightened. She glanced at her team. Each member was trained to read emotions, but nothing in this room felt predictable. "Lieutenant Kellen," she whispered to herself, "remember why you're here." When she finally stepped forward, her voice echoed clearly. "We will not sign your treaty." A stunned silence fell over the chamber. Aliens froze mid-gesture. Beings with 10 arms stopped waving. Eyes widened across the room. The Grand Chancellor blinked, his third eye narrowing. "You will not?" he asked, his voice low and trembling. Mara nodded. "We believe the treaty favors certain species and leaves humans weak. Until equality is guaranteed, we cannot agree." A murmur ran through the council. The humans had done the impossible. They had shocked the entire galaxy in one sentence. Some whispered about rebellion. Others feared war. Mara could see the panic spreading like wildfire. One of the council members, a tall, shadowy figure from the Vereen cluster, slammed a clawed hand on the table. "You dare defy centuries of peace work? Humans, do you not understand the risk?" "We understand perfectly," Mara replied. "That's why we refuse. Humans will not be pawns in anyone's game." The chamber erupted in arguments. Voices rose and clashed, alien tongues mixing in a deafening storm. Yet the humans stood calm. They had trained for this moment. They had prepared for fear, for anger, for threats. But nothing prepared them for the subtle shift in the air, the creeping unease, the suspicion that humans could do something no other species could. In the corner, the observers from the neutral worlds leaned forward. They whispered among themselves, recording every move, every word. If humans walked away, they knew the balance of power in the galaxy could collapse. Mara took a deep breath. "We are ready to leave if no compromise is reached." A ripple of shock went through the room. Leaving? The humans walking away could spark chaos. Mara knew this. She had prepared her crew for every contingency, but even she felt the tension rising inside her chest. The council tried to counter, offering concessions, vague promises, and diplomatic rhetoric. But the humans had made their decision. They would not sign. They would not bend. Outside the chamber, news spread quickly through the galaxy. Ships altered course. Ambassadors sent urgent messages. Intelligence networks hummed with alerts. "Humans are walking away from peace talks," the messages read. "Prepare for the unknown." Back in the chamber, Mara's second-in-command, Lieutenant Arik Vale, leaned closer. "Do you think they'll follow us?" he asked quietly. Mara's eyes hardened. "Some will. Some will fear us. But whatever happens next, we are not weak. The galaxy underestimates humans. That's their mistake." Suddenly, alarms blared. The room shook as a distant explosion rocked the chamber. Aliens screamed and ducked for cover. Mara's team instinctively moved to defensive positions. The council guards tried to regain order, but panic had taken hold. Through the chaos, Mara saw it clearly. The galaxy feared humans. And it was not because humans were small or weak. It was because humans had the courage to say no when everyone else said yes. For the first time in centuries, silence fell, not from peace, but from fear. The humans stood tall as the council chamber trembled, the echoes of their refusal spreading like fire. And in that silence, the galaxy realized humans were not just another species. They were unpredictable, unbound, and perhaps unstoppable. Mara looked at the stars beyond the windows and whispered to herself, "This is only the beginning." The humans left the council chamber without a word. The doors slid shut behind them, echoing like a gunshot across the vast hall. Outside, their ship waited, a sleek silver vessel that glinted under the starlight, small compared to the fleets of the galaxy, but far faster than anything anyone expected. Mara and her team walked down the ramp in silence. Behind them, alarms still rang in the council chamber. Messages from alien leaders poured in, some demanding explanations, others trembling with fear. The humans ignored them all. Their priority was survival and a quiet, burning sense of purpose. Inside the ship, Mara turned to her crew. "We have a long journey ahead," she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. "The galaxy will not forget today. They will try to hunt us, to corner us, to force us back. But we are not afraid. Not now." Auric Vale, her second in command, studied the control panel. "Scans show multiple fleets are diverting toward us." "They're coming, Mara," she nodded. "Let them come. We are humans. We fight, we adapt, and we survive." As the ship leapt into hyperspace, the galaxy outside the windows seemed to change. The stars streaked by in long white lines, but Mara's mind was on the shadows following them. Alien ships from distant systems had already begun to shadow their route. Some cloaked, some fast, all dangerous. The humans were no strangers to war, but this was different. This was the first time the galaxy had taken a serious look at them, not as a minor species, but as a potential threat. The first message came just hours into the journey. Holoscreens flickered, showing the Grand Chancellor's face pale and trembling. "Humans," he said, his voice uneven, "you must reconsider. Walk back to the chamber. The galaxy cannot survive your defiance." Mara watched him silently. "We didn't come here to bow to threats," she said softly. "We came to be seen. We came to be heard. And if that frightens them, so be it." Her crew worked in unison, running simulations, preparing defenses, and plotting safe routes through the uncharted sectors of space. The galaxy had underestimated humans, and that mistake would be costly for anyone who tried to challenge them. Days passed. Communications from other species grew desperate. Some tried diplomacy, sending gifts or offering temporary alliances. Others issued warnings, military threats disguised as formal messages. Mara read each one carefully. Every note, every word, every pause told the same story. The galaxy was afraid of humans. Auric leaned over a console, studying incoming signals. "They're testing us," he said, "scanning our patterns, probing our reactions. The more they see, the more unsettled they become. Some systems are already redirecting their fleets." Mara allowed herself a small smile. "Good, let them panic. Humans thrive under pressure. The galaxy needs to learn that strength comes in unexpected forms." The tension reached its peak when a cluster of warships appeared near the Korath Nebula. The vessels were massive, bristling with weapons, and they moved with precision, clearly intending to intercept. Mara didn't panic. She calmly issued orders, and the crew responded instantly. Shields rose, engines roared, and the ship danced between the nebula's clouds with astonishing speed. A Virene frigate closed in, firing energy pulses. Mara maneuvered expertly, dodging each attack. The humans fired back, not to destroy but to warn. This was their territory now. Every move showed their skill, their adaptability, and their unwillingness to submit. The aliens hesitated, shocked that humans could evade such precision attacks. Meanwhile, reports from distant star systems painted a similar picture. Humans were no longer just a species, they were a phenomenon. Observers whispered about their unpredictability, their resilience, and their audacity. The galaxy had expected fear, surrender, or negotiation. Instead, humans showed confidence, skill, and an unwavering refusal to be controlled. Night cycles passed in space, though Mara had little time to sleep. Her mind was constantly calculating, planning, predicting. She reviewed every communication, every sensor reading, every possibility. Humans were hunted, yes, but they were not cornered. They were the storm the galaxy never expected. One evening, as the ship glided near the outer rim of a star cluster, Mara paused at the observation deck. The stars stretched infinitely, cold and beautiful. She felt a rare moment of calm. "Do you think they'll ever stop fearing us?" Auric asked quietly, joining her. Mara didn't answer immediately. She studied the stars, then shook her head. "No, fear is the first step to respect, and the galaxy will have to respect humans, one way or another." Just then, the ship's sensors detected something unusual. An unknown fleet, larger than any they had seen, emerging from a hidden warp corridor. It was unlike any pattern Mara had ever analyzed. They weren't just scouts or diplomats, they were coming for a purpose. Her heart raced, not with fear, but with anticipation. Humans thrived on challenges, and whatever this fleet intended, they would meet it head-on. Mara straightened. "Alert all stations," she ordered. "The galaxy has decided to chase humans. Let's show them why that was a mistake." Outside the observation window, distant lights glimmered, moving faster than thought. Mara's lips curved in a determined smile. For the first time, the humans were not just participants in galactic affairs. They were the storm that others had never expected. And as the ship surged forward, faster than any alien fleet could track, Mara whispered to herself once more, "The galaxy is going to learn the hard way what it means to underestimate humans." The unknown fleet loomed on the sensors like a dark storm. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved in perfect formation, their weapons glowing ominously. Mara studied the readings carefully. "They're organized." "Highly organized," she said, tension in her voice. "But organization doesn't mean they're ready for humans." Her crew worked swiftly. Arik recalculated every trajectory, every possible escape route. Engineers ran diagnostics to push the ship to its limits. The humans were calm but alert. Every challenge made them sharper. Every threat revealed their ingenuity. The fleet suddenly shifted, surrounding them in a semicircle. Energy beams flared, testing shields. Mara leaned forward. "They want to scare us," she said. "They want us to panic. But we don't panic. Humans adapt." The first attack came from the left flank. Dozens of plasma torpedoes streaked through space. The humans responded immediately, firing precision lasers that shattered several incoming missiles. The aliens were shocked. No species had reacted with such speed. Mara smiled faintly. "They're learning what humans can do too late." The unknown fleet changed tactics, splitting into multiple groups. Mara anticipated this. Her ship darted through asteroid fields, weaving between debris that would destroy larger vessels. Human crews executed maneuvers no alien had imagined. Every turn, every dodge, every counterattack showed courage and strategy that seemed instinctive, almost impossible. On the bridge, Arik studied the enemy. "Their ships are advanced," he said. "Faster than anything we've seen. Yet they still can't predict us," Mara nodded. "That's humans. They never follow the expected path." As the battle intensified, the aliens realized their standard protocols failed. Every attack was anticipated, countered, or avoided. Mara issued precise commands. One ship trapped a Vereen cruiser in an asteroid cluster. Another forced an enemy frigate to retreat using a clever decoy. Meanwhile, Mara noticed something strange on the sensors. A small shadowy craft moved toward them unnoticed. It was fast, silent, and intelligent. Arik frowned. "It's too precise to be random." "They're studying us, learning." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Then let's teach them something they'll never forget." She activated the ship's stealth modules and maneuvered to flank the shadow craft. Within moments, the humans had isolated it, forcing it to reveal itself. A holographic message appeared. A single alien, wearing armor unlike any species in the galaxy. "Humans," it said, voice calm but firm. "You cannot outrun the galaxy. Surrender or face annihilation." Mara stared at the figure. "We don't surrender. Humans don't surrender. We survive, we fight, and we win when others doubt us." The fleet hesitated, stunned by the humans' audacity. They had faced countless species, yet none had ever refused threats with such calm and confidence. Mara could feel the fear radiating through the unknown ships, a subtle tremor no alien wanted to admit. The battle raged for hours. Humans moved like a single organism, anticipating and countering attacks with skill and precision. The galaxy's best fleet struggled against a single human ship. Mara realized that this was more than survival. It was a statement. Humans were here, and they were not to be underestimated. In the midst of combat, Mara's ship detected a distress signal. Another human colony ship was under attack, far behind their path. "We're not just fighting for ourselves," she said. "We protect humans wherever they are." The crew nodded. With precise maneuvers, they split the fleet, intercepting the attackers. Energy beams clashed in space, ships spiraled, and the humans executed a daring rescue, saving the colony ship. The aliens were forced to retreat, shocked that one human ship had outmaneuvered an entire fleet. After the battle, the human ship glided through empty space. Mara allowed herself a moment of reflection. "The galaxy wanted fear," she said softly. "They got respect instead," Arik smiled. "They'll remember this, Mara, everywhere." Mara turned to the stars beyond the window. "They will remember humans, and they'll think twice before underestimating us again." But even as she spoke, the sensors picked up another anomaly. Far in the distance, a massive object appeared, moving toward them at incredible speed. It was unlike anything in the galaxy, a weapon, a ship, or something far more dangerous. Its sheer size made the stars around it seem small. Mara's stomach tightened. She knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had sent the storm, but the true challenge was coming. And humans, as always, would face it head-on. She turned to her crew. Prepare for whatever comes next. We don't run. We don't hide. We fight. And we survive. That's what humans do. Outside, the unknown object loomed closer. Its shape shimmered with alien energy. Whatever it was, it carried the promise of a war the galaxy had never seen. And for the humans, it was not just a threat. It was a call to show that when the galaxy panicked, humanity did not break. Humanity thrived. The stars ahead stretched endlessly. But Mara felt one thing clearly. Humans were ready. The massive object loomed closer, filling the sensors with a presence that made even the bravest crew members tense. It was enormous, bigger than any battleship, bigger than entire space stations humans had seen. Its hull shimmered with strange energy, moving with deliberate purpose. Mara studied it carefully. It's not just a ship, she said quietly. It's a weapon, a war machine, something designed to make even entire fleets tremble. Arik leaned over the console. It's fast, Mara. Faster than anything we've tracked before. And it's heading straight for us. Mara's jaw tightened. Then we prepare. Humans don't run. Humans don't hide. Humans fight. Full alert, every system, every station. We do what we do best. Adapt and survive. The crew responded instantly. Shields were raised to maximum. Engines prepped for sudden maneuvers, weapons charged. Every human aboard moved with calm urgency. Training, discipline, and courage combined into a force that was both precise and unpredictable. As the war machine approached, it released smaller attack drones. They swarmed the humans like a cloud of deadly fire, but Mara anticipated it. Her crew split the ship's defenses, using energy pulses to disable drones without destroying them, carefully managing resources while testing the unknown machine's tactics. Hours passed. The humans observed patterns in the massive object's attacks. It was intelligent, calculating, but Mara's mind raced faster. Every move it made revealed a weakness, a hesitation, a flaw that no alien fleet had ever allowed humans to exploit. Every enemy has a flaw, she said. Even this one. We find it, we survive, we win. The war machine fired a massive energy blast, forcing the human ship to dive through a dense asteroid field. Rocks and ice collided against shields. Sparks flew across the bridge as systems strained under pressure. The aliens who had built this machine had assumed no species could evade them. Humans proved them wrong. While the crew stabilized the ship, Mara realized the machine was testing them. It wasn't just attacking, it was learning, adjusting, predicting. The galaxy's greatest weapon had underestimated humans. That was their mistake, Arik spoke up. We can't just dodge forever. We need a plan, Mara. Mara's eyes narrowed. Then we create one. Humans always create when faced with impossible odds. Using the asteroid field as cover, the humans executed maneuvers that no alien could anticipate. They split the machine's attention, forcing it to focus on multiple points at once. Small energy disruptors disabled key components temporarily, giving Mara the opening she needed. She issued orders with calm precision. Prepare the decoy drones. Activate the pulse cannon. We hit their core systems simultaneously. Timing is everything. The plan unfolded flawlessly. The massive war machine reacted too slowly, caught in the human's trap. Energy beams slammed into its hull. Systems sparked and shimmered, and finally, a massive shockwave erupted across its surface. The humans had not destroyed it completely, but they had proven something far more important. They could challenge the galaxy's deadliest weapon and survive. Outside, debris floated in the void, remnants of the war machine's outer defenses. Mara looked at her crew. Humans adapt. Humans survive. Humans don't surrender. Remember that. Even as the humans celebrated their small victory, a new message arrived across the comms. Holographic images of alien fleets flickered into view. You humans dare challenge the galaxy's ultimate power? One voice thundered, shaking even the strongest crew members. This is only the beginning. Surrender or all your colonies will burn. Mara's expression remained calm, almost proud. We will not surrender, she said. Humans do not bow to threats. We do not fear the galaxy, and we will show every species that underestimating humans is their greatest mistake. Her crew prepared for the next phase. They knew the war machine had not been destroyed, only delayed. But humans had something no alien fleet could match: courage, intelligence, and the will to survive against impossible odds. As the ship soared through space, away from the shattered fragments of the war machine, Mara gazed at the stars. "The galaxy wants to scare us," she said. "They will fail. Humans do not fear the unknown. We rise to meet it." For the first time, the galaxy truly understood humans were different. Not just strong, not just clever, but unyielding. And the humans themselves knew this was only the beginning of the challenges ahead. Outside, in the cold darkness of space, more fleets gathered, preparing for the humans' next move. But the humans had already proven something essential. Fear could not control them. Threats could not stop them. And the galaxy had no idea what humans would do next. Mara turned to her crew one last time. "The galaxy is watching. Let's show them who humans really are." The stars stretched ahead, endless and waiting. And somewhere in that vast darkness, the galaxy realized it had awakened a force it could neither predict nor control: humanity. The galaxy watched as humans moved like a storm no species could predict. Mara's ship glided through space, faster, smarter, and more precise than any alien fleet could follow. The humans were no longer on the defensive, they were taking control. Reports arrived from every system. Alien leaders whispered in fear. "They survived the war machine," one said. "They're not just clever, they're unstoppable." Mara studied the incoming intelligence carefully. "The galaxy is scared," she said to her crew. "Good. Fear makes others predictable. We can use that." Arik leaned over the console. "We can't fight the entire galaxy alone. There are too many fleets converging. Even with strategy, we'll be outnumbered." Mara smiled faintly. "Then we don't fight them all at once. Humans are smart. We choose when and where to strike. We make the galaxy follow our rules." The first strike was planned with surgical precision. Mara identified a cluster of fleets gathering near the Korath Nebula, hoping to ambush humans. She altered their trajectory, creating a false trail. Then, just as the alien fleets tightened, humans attacked from unexpected angles. Small, agile ships darted between massive alien cruisers, disabling weapons, taking control of communications, and sowing confusion. Mara's ship coordinated everything like the brain of a single organism. The humans weren't just fighting. They were teaching the galaxy a lesson in unpredictability. One of the enemy commanders, a Virine admiral, tried to rally his fleet. "Surround them! Cut them off!" he shouted. But the humans had already anticipated this. Using decoys and precise maneuvers, they split the fleets into smaller groups, each isolated and disoriented. On board Mara's ship, engineers adjusted the pulse cannons. "They're moving faster than we predicted," one said, tension in his voice. "Good," Mara replied. "We adapt faster." She directed a coordinated strike that disabled several key cruisers. The enemy fleet faltered, unsure how to respond. Humans had turned the tables, and the galaxy was learning what it meant to underestimate them. But humans weren't cruel. They focused on disabling and controlling, not destruction. Ships were trapped, weapons neutralized, and communications intercepted. The message was clear. Humans were powerful, but they were not monsters. They fought with skill, courage, and precision. Meanwhile, distant star systems began watching, amazed. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were legends in the making. Colonies sent support, inspired by what they saw. Humans across the galaxy felt a rising pride. Their species had walked out of peace talks, survived the galaxy's deadliest fleets, and now dictated the terms of engagement. Yet, even as humans celebrated their victories, Mara remained cautious. Sensors detected another fleet moving rapidly, larger and more organized than anything before. This time, the threat wasn't just firepower, it was strategy, intelligence, and numbers. "Another one," Arik said, eyes narrowing. "They're learning," Mara nodded. "Then we teach them faster. Humans learn faster, fight smarter. We don't just survive, we lead." The humans' next move was daring. Mara plotted a course directly through the central sectors of the galaxy, where political hubs and military stations were concentrated. Every step was calculated to show the galaxy that humans were not afraid. Alien leaders panicked. Messages poured in, begging for negotiations, alliances, and ceasefires. But Mara ignored most. Humans were rewriting the rules of engagement. Every fleet that tried to attack was met with precision strikes, tactical genius, and adaptability. The galaxy realized that humans were not just strong, they were unpredictable, clever, and unstoppable when united. At one point, Mara paused on the observation deck, staring at the swirling stars. "The galaxy feared us at peace talks," she said softly. "They feared us during the War Machine attack. Now, they fear what humans can do when we act with purpose." Arik joined her, watching the distant fleets. "Do you think they'll ever stop?" Mara shook her head. "No, and that's the point. Humans are not meant to be controlled. Humans are meant to rise, to survive, to challenge." The galaxy needed to see that. As they moved forward, an incoming message arrived from a distant human colony. It was simple. "We're with you, always." Mara smiled. Humanity wasn't just surviving, they were inspiring. Every act of courage, every clever strategy, every refusal to submit created a ripple across the stars. Humans were no longer small, underestimated creatures. They were the storm the galaxy could never ignore. And somewhere in the distant darkness, alien leaders realized the terrifying truth. Humans had not just walked out of peace talks. Humans had changed the rules of the galaxy. Mara turned to her crew one last time before entering hyperspace. "The galaxy will keep testing us, but no matter what they throw at us, humans adapt, humans survive, and humans prevail. Remember that." Outside the ship, stars stretched endlessly, cold and infinite. Yet the humans were unshaken. They had faced fear, fire, and impossible odds, and the galaxy had learned what it truly meant to underestimate humanity. The storm had begun, and humanity was leading it. The galaxy was tense. Every species had heard the stories. Humans defying peace talks, surviving the war machine, outsmarting fleets, and inspiring awe. But the ultimate test had arrived. Sensors detected a massive armada forming at the edge of a dark nebula. Ships of every design, weapon systems bristling, formations precise. This was the final trial. The galaxy's combined forces determined to crush humanity once and for all. Mara stood on the bridge, her crew tense but focused. "This is it," she said. "Whatever happens next, we do what humans do best. We fight, we adapt, we survive, and we win." Arik's eyes scanned the incoming fleet. "They outnumber us by hundreds." "This is madness," Mara shook her head. "Humans don't fight numbers. Humans fight possibilities. We're not weaker because they have more ships. We're smarter because we fight differently." The armada advanced. Energy beams streaked across space as the humans moved with unmatched speed, dodging attacks while assessing patterns. Each alien fleet had its own tactic, its own expectation, but humans ignored expectations. The first strike came from Mara's crew. Using the nebula's gases as cover, small ships darted through, disabling communications and weapon systems. Large cruisers were caught off guard, their firepower neutralized by clever decoys and precise timing. One alien commander shouted, "Impossible! How can a single species coordinate like this?" But humans didn't listen. They moved with purpose, timing every strike perfectly, showing unity and ingenuity the galaxy had never seen. Hours passed. Explosions rocked the void, yet Mara's ship remained steady. She focused on the enemy's command ship, the heart of the armada. If humans could disrupt it, the entire fleet would falter. Using a combination of stealth, precision, and clever technology, Mara's team infiltrated the armada's sensor network. They created false signals, lured ships away, and exposed weak points. Every move forced the enemy to overreact, leaving gaps humans could exploit. Finally, Mara issued the final command. "All systems to pulse. Target their core ship. Hit together now." Energy beams surged through space, striking the command ship simultaneously from multiple angles. Systems failed, shields collapsed, and the alien armada faltered. Confusion spread like wildfire. Ships that had seemed invincible slowed, staggered, and retreated. On the bridge, the crew erupted in quiet triumph. Humans had done the impossible. They had faced the galaxy's combined might and survived. More than that, they had forced the galaxy to acknowledge their strength. Mara looked at the stars beyond the windows. "This is what humans do. We survive, we adapt. We rise when the galaxy doubts us, and we never surrender." Messages flooded in from alien leaders. Some were apologetic, some fearful, others curious. The tone of the galaxy had changed. Humans were no longer a minor species, they were a force, a standard, a reminder that courage, intelligence, and unity could defy even the greatest odds. A young crew member approached Mara. "Do you think they'll ever stop trying to control us?" Mara smiled, placing a hand on his shoulder. No, but they will always remember one thing: humans cannot be underestimated. And that is our strength. News of the victory spread faster than any fleet. Colonies across human-controlled systems celebrated. Humans everywhere felt pride, knowing that their species had walked out of peace talks, survived impossible odds, and earned respect across the galaxy. Yet Mara knew the truth. Humanity's journey was just beginning. The galaxy would test them again and again. But humans had already shown what they were capable of: bravery, ingenuity, adaptability, and an unbreakable will. As Mara gazed at the stars, she felt a quiet sense of triumph. Humans had changed the galaxy, not through domination, but through resilience, courage, and determination. The galaxy had learned that humans were not to be underestimated, feared, or controlled. They were a force to be respected. Arik joined her, watching the distant lights of retreating fleets. Do you think the galaxy will ever be at peace now? Mara shook her head slowly. Peace will come on our terms, not theirs. The galaxy will adapt to humans, not the other way around. And when it does, it will know exactly who humans are. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, infinite and cold. Yet humanity was unafraid. They had walked out of peace talks, survived the galaxy's deadliest weapons, and rewritten the rules of engagement. Humans had become the storm, and the galaxy had no choice but to respect it. Mara turned to her crew one last time. This is the legacy of humans. Courage in the face of impossible odds, strength without surrender, and the unyielding will to survive. Remember it, live it, show it to the galaxy. And with that, the human ship soared forward into the stars, leaving a trail of awe, fear, and respect in its wake. Humanity had proven the galaxy wrong. Humanity had shown the universe what it truly meant to be human. The storm had passed, for now. But humans knew one thing for certain: they were unstoppable.